Okay guys, we're going to take a look at some ball screens now. And the biggest thing with ball screens is you've got to get reps. There's so many different things that can happen in a ball screen, little nuances that you just got to get on the court and be able to explore that. As you know, during the season, we spend a lot of time giving you guys opportunity to get those reps. Now here in the off season, let's see if we can add some things to your game. Maybe you can pick up some new tricks that you want to put in there. So the reason for showing all these clips that we're about to show is we found over the years that the more confidence you have in your footwork, in your ball handling, the more your eyes get up and see the floor. Guys that are beginning at ball screens who aren't great at it, they're really focused on what they're doing individually, their footwork and their ball handling, and their eyes stay down. So the more you can just make everything automatic and just trust what's going on from your neck down, then your eyes will be able to stay up and you'll be much more effective seeing the floor. So we're going to show you a bunch of different clips of some different things that you could add to your game this off season with the end goal of just making it as simple as possible for you. The first lesson with ball screens is just to treat it like one-on-one. So the same fundamentals and the same rules apply, and let's take a look at what we're talking about. First, if a defender's pressuring you up at half court, blow by your guy and get to the rim. So if this was a one-on-one situation, and this is where the defender's starting on you, if it was one-on-one, you would say you have an advantage, right? So you don't need to wait for this ball screen to get to you. Just blow by your guy, be a threat to get to the rim. Okay, if your defender's leaning one way or the other, be a threat to go the opposite direction. So a lot of times players will get in this situation here, their defender leans inside, and they'll still try to come off the ball screen. Be a threat to go both ways. If your defender leans one direction, take the other. If your guy's not paying attention, once again, being a threat to go both ways. Okay, you can see he's waiting for the screen here. Nice seatbelt crossover, rejecting the screen. Be a threat to go both ways. Okay, if your defender's sagging off you, be a threat to shoot. Once again, if we're just playing pickup basketball one-on-one and your defender's doing that, you got to be a threat to shoot. Okay, setting up the ball screen now, and the goal here is to get a yard of space between you and your defender. Not only does that make him easier to be screened, it's going to prevent him from wedging into your body, getting through the screen, and crowding you when you're trying to make a play. So let's take a look at some techniques on how to gain that yard of space. The easiest way is simply playing square or open to the screen. Getting to this position right here, where you're a threat to go both ways, is usually more than enough to create the space you need to make a play. From this open stance, you're a threat to use the screen. And you're also a threat to reject the screen. Now, where most players get confused is when they're in an open stance like this, the ball is exposed, and they're worried about the defender being able to steal that ball. So they get into this perpendicular stance like this, which is fine, but usually players stay in this position when the screen arrives. And what that does is allows the defender to wedge into your body and really crowd you as you go into the screen. So if you are getting pressured and you feel like that ball needs to get protected, go ahead and just use a back dribble as the screen's arriving so that you can get square and be a threat to attack. Okay, the majority of the time, those techniques right there will be more than enough to get you the separation you need. Here's just some examples of some other things you can do, maybe against a much better defender, or maybe once or twice a game if you need something a little more elaborate. Feel free to put something in your back pocket that you can have just kind of as a change of speed, getting that defender moving east-west before you come off the ball screen. Okay, let's talk about probing now. A critical component of attacking these ball screens is being able to change speed, starts and stops, and be able to buy yourself an extra half second to read what the defense is doing. So first let's take a look at the front foot skip. Okay, you can see here how this skip on the inside foot buys him an extra second, maybe half second, to read that defender and helps him change his tempo. Once again, this inside foot skipping gives that half second of this guy having to either show his help or sit back. In this case, he shows his help. That extra half second bought him time to read the floor and make that pass. And as you can see, the change of speeds right there, left foot, and then being able to attack from there. Now being able to probe off the back foot, let's take a look at some examples. Okay, you can see right there, left foot, being able to plant off that back foot and accelerate at an angle. Once again, skipping off the back foot here, ball's protected, eyes up, seeing the floor. This little hang dribble or hesitation or probe or pause, whatever you want to call it, buys him an extra half second to read the floor. Next move, talking about the hostage dribble, just coming to an immediate stop, putting your defender on your hip. You can see here, stopping his momentum, putting the defender on his hip, and then continuing to probe in the paint, looking for a scoring opportunity. Okay, so you got to feel for what those probing dribbles look like. Those are involved in that workout. So when you go work on those, visualize those clips that we just saw. Now let's talk about some finishing off of the ball screens and what kind of opportunities are there for you to score out of the ball screens. So here, a traditional one-hand layup. You can see the shot's just a little bit outside the circle, so a little bit tougher shot than you'd think. This is something you can get frequently. Okay, rejecting the ball screen, that inside hand finish is a great way to finish off that rejected ball screen. You guys got to be able to be creative, finish off a lot of different angles in a lot of different ways. So here you can see the little finger roll underhand, just getting it to that rim quick. When you get in tight spaces, you might need to finish off 2 feet. Great job here on the jump stop. Forward pivot creates a little angle to the rim, little bump into the defender's body is fantastic, creating that angle to finish. Okay, the goofy foot's really important off of ball screens. A lot of times you don't have time to get that second foot down. So you can see here, right foot, right hand. Great timing, allows them to get to the rim quickly. And then those Mikan drills, we got that goofy foot reverse. Found this clip of Nash. right there, right foot, right hand, reverse. Be diverse, be creative. Talking about some passing fundamentals now, and you'll see when I'm doing that workout on the outdoor court, and I end each probing section with that reverse pivot back foot pass. And what this does is creates a really nice base for you to pass from, and also a separation from your defender. So you can see here, getting to this back foot creates space between you and the defender, and now you're passing from a nice solid base, so your pass can be on time, on target. Okay, right here, a lot of times players will try to throw from a narrow base where they'll keep their body, their inside shoulder into the man, and they'll be too crowded to make that pass. So stepping on that back foot reverse pivot, getting that ball overhead can really create a lot of power and some better angles to pass. Okay, one thing that's really separated players within our program over the years is guys that can pass late. So Brandon Hoffa was really good at this. Tommy Nuno last year was really good. Here's some professional players in their clips. Then being able to extend the play and still hit the roll man late, especially with the way teams have been guarding us the last 2 years. A lot more drop coverage, big sitting back. So being able to get in the paint, have some fakes, and be able to get to that roll man late is a key skill. Now, we won't be able to work on that, 1-on-0 on the outdoor courts, but just something to visualize here, and maybe you can find a way to add it to your game over the summer. Okay, last segment here, and that's how to read the ball screen, read the help defenders. Okay, really the key cue is just understanding how many defenders are in the paint or not. So you can see when Nash comes off this ball screen right here, both help defenders 2 feet in the paint, 2 feet in the paint. He's got his eyes up. Just seeing those bodies in the paint can cue him to make this pass across the opposite side of the floor. So what a lot of players will do is they get so fixated on just the roll man and they're just staring at that guy that they can't see the help defenders on the floor. And so what you really want to have is just a soft gaze, just kind of see the middle of the paint, and then have the roll man and these off-ball mans kind of in your peripherals. So here the cue, you go back just a little bit. Right now he already knows, based on where this guy is, 2 feet outside the paint, that his roll man's going to be open. He doesn't need to stare at the roll man to be able to make that play. Okay, already with his eyes up right here, you can see this defender 2 feet outside the paint. He already knows where this ball is going to go. So just the importance of having your eyes up, seeing the floor, reading the paint. All right, well, I hope this video has helped you guys out. It was a little bit long-winded, but I feel like there's some valuable stuff in there. Remember, just the key is look to add a couple things to your game over the spring and summer, but you want to keep it as simple as possible. This is just a little extra clip here, just showing how incredible Steve Nash was. I mean, just look at this pass right here between the legs. A little extra bonus clip for you guys. With the ball screens, yeah, play with those eyes up, play square, open to your defender. Just keep it simple. The footwork stuff you guys do in the workout will help, and then just keep chipping away, add into your game.